Listen, I want you to hit 100K your first year, or I want you to hit 100K whatever year you're in consistently, and I want you to get to 500,000 in GCI or more. It took me 1 year to make 100,000 when I jumped into real estate. Then it took me about 3 years to make 500,000 in GCI, but then to break $1 million, that took me a while. I think I was 11 years into this business, and then I finally made $1 million in GCI, which was awesome. But let me take you through the first year, what I did to get you to 100,000. And it doesn't matter where you're at. It could be your third, fourth, fifth year and you want to do this. I'm going to take you through how I did it, just so that you can do it, or you can duplicate it or be inspired by it. I'm going to give you the exact things that I did, reflecting back, and also adding a little bit of the things that I would do maybe differently to get you going faster. Okay? Welcome, my real estate friends. This is your daily real estate, where I go into talking to you about the things you should be listening to make your business better in real estate, whether it's mindset, prospecting, letters, using AI, doesn't matter. I cover it all. These are about 5 to 10 minutes. Lately, they've been a little bit longer, but that's because I think I'm giving you more value. All right, so let's jump into this one. If you haven't joined the newsletter, please jump in. I'm in my third, heading into my fourth one, so you're going to love this. Real estate prospecting. Click the link in the YouTube description at the very top, or if you're listening in, just click the link somewhere towards the top there, and it'll say it. All right, how I hit 100K in my first 12 months as a real estate agent. I outlined some of this in the book, Real Estate Prospecting. Number one, at the time, I started with door knocking. I put 1 daily door knocking routine. If you want to do this, you definitely can, but there's also the option of doing digital door knocking, right? Which is you showing up in a digital fashion where people are, and that's on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, that world, right? TikTok. Decide what this is going to look like for you. But for me, when I door knocked, and by the way, door knocking works in some areas extremely well. People are going back to this in-person connection the more AI grows. So for me, I pick one micro farm to start, because then you're going to expand on it. The first 2 to 3 months, you're going to go 150 to 200 homes just to get into a rhythm. And walk it 4 days a week. I did it 6 days a week, right? I want you to do it at least 4 days a week. And I want you to go for 2 hours. You could do an hour and then an hour later, but set the time to do it. You're going to find about, in a regular track, regular size homes, meaning they're not spaced like a farm area, right? They're not townhomes, condos. It's not luxury where they're spread out, right? In a normal area, you're going to find about 13 people home an hour, going at, depending on if it's an older community, you're going to find people home most of the day in the morning time. If it's a younger community, families, right, younger people that are working, you're going to find them in the afternoon. So know your area. The opening line was easy. Just wanted to introduce myself. I work here, right? I'm Tristan. And I track prices on our street, in our neighborhood, and I always have something, and I've got this sheet that shows you the market stats. Here you go, right? And I usually would leave it behind. If nobody was home, yes, I'd knock and I'd wait and I'd talk to people. I'd step back. I have a whole podcast just on door knocking, so hopefully the team is listening and they'll clip it to this. But I'd leave out behind a little flyer if nobody was home. But if they were, I'd talk to them. Right? The goal is 20 doors a day, minimum 5 real conversations. I would hit about a day when I would go, I'd hit about 20-ish, right? And then 1 follow-up CMA request. Hopefully somebody was interested enough to be like, I wonder what my home is worth, right? That's the goal. That's the goal. Number 2, weekend open house system. Create your own system. My first transactions came from, they actually came all I was paid on the same day. So they closed like 2 days apart, which is crazy to me. First transactions were 3 of them. I got one from door knocking, right? This is from door knocking. I was door knocking. The person I was door knocking through, it was the visitor said, I want to buy a home. And it wasn't the actual homeowner, right? I think they were cousins. And I was like, this is weird, right? Amazing. I didn't know any different. One. Number 2 was an open house. I sold her condo and I helped her buy a house, right? And then I would say a third one that followed right after. So really 4 transactions, which is crazy. Because those are 3, was a referral from my mom because she loves me. That was it. And I asked her for referrals. All right, so here's the system for open houses. Volunteer to every open house your office lists. Please do 2 per weekend. If you want to break 100K, if you want to make this your career, please don't just decide to do 1 every month. I'm going to push you, like challenge yourself. Please do 2 every weekend for the whole year. This is how you push through. If you want to do it on Friday, great. Do Friday, Saturday. If you want to do Saturday, Sunday, great. If you want to do 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, do that. I don't care. Do it. Friday, post the open house, Reel or IG. And then what I would do is I would door knock around the homes as well. That's what I would do. And then once you do the IG, the Instagram Reel, and if you're walking through as you're door knocking and say, hey, we're going to have an open house here. I'll see you here over the weekend. Or do whatever you want in the neighborhood, or highlight a feature of the home. Get creative. I've gone through this plenty of times. Whatever you decide to do, post that one up. And you may want to post it up on Thursday and see how it's doing, because if it performs well on Friday leading up to Saturday, you could put a little bit of money behind it, right? Especially if you're doing it Wednesday. Now you have Thursday, Friday, it's doing well. Put some money behind it on Friday. Boom, you're ready for Sunday. All right. Saturday or Sunday or both, greet, register every single guest. We have to now, according to the rules, right? Just make sure that you do it according to how your state does it and your office wants you to do this, right? Make sure that you're following up with people too. And then metrics, here's what I've got. 15 visitors per open house is my goal. Does it happen? Not all the time, right? And then my goal was to get 3 real buyers as well, and 1 listing lead from a nosy neighbor. This is for the whole weekend, right? This is me from door knocking. This is me from around the, hey, I'm having an open house, here's the flyer, or from people coming through. Number 3, sphere touch plan. I put here the 5-20-1-1-1 rule. This is a whole video. This is a whole process, right? But again, where you're reaching out to your sphere. And if you're like me, when I was in my early 20s, 23, I think, I forget. But everybody my age at the time wasn't buying a home, right? So I needed to reach out to my mom's sphere. And I didn't have a big sphere, to my family's sphere. And I would reach out to them, and that's how I got my first referral. In fact, that's how all my referrals started coming through their connections. But I would say if this is not your first career and you've been in other careers first, you've got a good sphere. And so for the 5-20-1-1-1 plan, really quick, 5 connections to the sphere, 5 texts, right? Hey, I've shown you how to reach out to people, right? Not, hey, this is a business call. Come from value. 20 is 20 minutes on social media daily. 1 means you're going to meet 1 person a day, brand new, either on social or in person. 1 handwritten note a day to somebody you want to thank or congratulate or something. And then one simple post that engages on social media. That's daily. So that one's a whole podcast on its own. Monthly email title, what's up with the city? Put your city in there in real estate. What's up with Malibu real estate? What's up? Whatever you want to do. Change it up. Make it your own. Use MailChimp. Easy. Quarterly pop by, a small item tied to the season, spring flowers, fall cider packets, whatever it is to your sphere. Maybe you only have 20. That's okay. Number 4. Conversation and follow-up framework. Every conversation goes into your CRM that night if you're out there. I usually would carry, for me, I wish I had it next to me. It's kind of far out. I have these clipboards. I have a ton of them. And I would go out, and I still do, with clipboards. And I'd write them down. And I have the information right there. And if I'm going out without the clipboard, just normal, I have my phone and I have it in notes. And I'm like, ooh, I had this conversation. That was good. Or I text it to myself. This way I can add it later to my CRM. Make sure you keep on adding it. Send people that you add, send them home searches. Put them on there. And just make sure you're letting them know, right? Hey, I'm putting it on a home search so you can check out areas in your area, or check out homes, or you can even check the value of your home. Right? Unless somebody asks for a CMA, send it over. Set task reminders, hot leads. How often are you reaching out to them? 2 to 3 days. I had, at the time, I had a big whiteboard, and I would have my A, my B's, and my C's. Like A's want to buy right now. All cash, pre-approved, pre-qualified. B's a little further out. And C's, I would just go, they would go into my database at the time. But look, you need to focus on these things. And more importantly, number 5, mindset and your schedule. Yesterday, we talked about mindset, right? Watch yesterday's video, listen to it, and then schedule. When are you doing all of this? Because if it's not on your schedule, listen, it doesn't exist. It's just never going to happen. So as you're going through this, say, what times am I going to do all of this stuff? Prospecting is probably the easiest because it depends on the demographic of the area you're door knocking in. And I've door knocked in all types of demographics. Luxury, like multi-millions out here. Malibu, Beverly Hills, Calabasas, Westlake. I've done that. And I can tell you, works amazing. But what time is that going to be? Right? Also, if you're going to go to an area where you have an older community, retired, mornings. That's when I found them home. It was a first neighborhood community at the time when I had a lot of older people living there. And I'd go in the mornings, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m. And then at afternoon, usually people that have more of a work routine, jobs, sometimes family, right? Little kids, they're in the late afternoon. So I would go 4 to 6. Just plan this, please. Because if it's in your schedule, you'll show up to do it. And if you're like, Tristan, I just don't have time those times, then you know what? Pick a time that you can. And then track. I went at 10 a.m. I went at lunch, and they were here. Tristan, I have another job. Well, what day can you go? Your day off and on the weekends or whatever. Plan it, track it, and know what times you should be going based on how many people are picking up that door. And also your sphere, like, how are they responding? What should you tweak? This is how I did it. But it was so scheduled. Like, I would know what time I'm going every day. I know exactly who I was reaching out to, and I would show up continuously over and over and over and over again. That is going to be the key to this, and keep up with your mindset because, man, those hard days are real. They get tough. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and please subscribe to that newsletter. And if you think this video was great, please share it with somebody you think would love it. Or if you're listening to it in a podcast, thank you so much. Please send it out to somebody who you think would love this one. Have an awesome day.